Chris Martin.
Oh, you're kidding me. September.
Kyle Lafferty.
Are you joking me?
Is that right?
I know, it's not right.
Anybody else?
Leash, was it?
Like, that is one of the most stupid questions.
Darius Vassell?
Seriously, you all need to just stay quiet. This is getting really annoying doing this quiz.
What is going on here?
Welcome along to the shoutiest segment on Irish radio. It's the scintillating, it's the stupefying, it's the splendido, crappy quiz. Every week we pit three of Team Off the Ball up against each other in a no-holds-barred quiz of sporting factoids. This week, in the middle of the week, we've got a football special for you ahead of Serbia versus the Republic of Ireland, and it is all with thanks to Paddy Power. Allow me to welcome today's contestants. Our first contestant today admits he's entered this quiz firmly under the label of third wheel. His trivia record is erratic, and he comes up against two Goliaths of the game. Could this man find his inner David? Well, time will tell. Give it up for the Meath Hillbilly, Tommy Rooney.
Nice to be back. How are you, lads?
Give us your cultural reference there, Phil. What is this like? Who is Tommy in the athletics world?
I was thinking back to 1993. It's Gateshead. Everyone's looking forward to Linford Christie against Carl Lewis. Who's going to be the fastest man on the planet? But John Drummond splits them. John Drummond, notorious fast starter. So it'd be interesting to see how he out of the blocks quickly. This when Tommy, he actually had a false start that night, but he came second and Carl Lewis came third.
Phil, thankfully this is a football quiz and not an athletics quiz.
Yeah, there we go.
Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, Tommy thought that Linford Christie was a boxer 5 minutes ago, but we've cleared that up. This was an athletics reference that Phil Egan has brought to the table, and a very good start to all involved. Our next contestant...
I definitely didn't.
I just Googled John Drummond, who was obviously part of that legendary time in sprinting, to see what question marks maybe we could hold over John Drummond and then therefore hold over Tommy. And I was quite surprised, actually, with what came up. So, yes, there is a drugs reference, turns out, when it comes to John Drummond, who went on to become Tyson Gay's coach. BBC.com, 2014. Tyson Gay's former coach, John Drummond, banned for 8 years by USADA, was found to have possessed, trafficked and administered banned drugs to an athlete he coached. So there you go. So that's you, Tommy. That is the comparison we're making.
God.
Wow.
That Meath Hill...
Can you trust anybody these days?
No, you really can't. Just when you think you know someone, they really let you down. Our next contestant...
Google doesn't forget. Google does not forget.
No, it definitely doesn't. Our next contestant is still visibly shaken after his meltdown on last week's quiz. The Trivia World's version of Brazil going down 7-1 to Germany has put him back in his place. And all the people want to know is if he'll even wake up from his slumber. Give it up for the beast of Ballyhonus, Nathan Nate Dog Murphy.
There was no meltdown. I'm going to very quickly go on to youtube.com/off the ball, where I had widespread support from the YouTubers on there. And to get positive reviews on YouTube, Owen, is quite something. So they clearly felt I was totally screwed over by both yourself and Jared Gilroy. Robert Clark said, fair play to Nathan, he's taking the loss well. Which I thought was fair. I did take it very well. I should have walked out the second he screwed me over with that first question. So I thought that was a compliment for you. What was the round where we played the McElroy stuff? What's that called?
The Ivan Etniage round.
Exactly. Matthew McConnell said it was a thing of beauty. Hope to see it more regularly.
Thank you.
I think it was a great round.
Phil versus Jer versus Nathan versus Adrian and Tommy as a team is what I want to see.
Hilarious.
Botox93 said Murph got done out of it with the first question.
Okay.
D-Mac said Nathan will be back.
Hey.
Keep the faith.
Hold on.
And
Can you shut down your
Aidan made
browser?
a very good point. He said, while it was funny seeing Nathan sulking, which isn't what happened, if I worked for OTB, I'd be sacked for assault on the first day for punching Jared Gilroy. Which is fair enough. So that's what the YouTubers are saying.
I will agree with Paul's assessment in the YouTube comments. Couldn't write it. Nathan demands Phil to replace Adrian. He's finished with a score of 0 the very next week. Dublin bullying Mayo 2016, 2017, 2020, and now 2021. That is exactly what happened. It was an embarrassment.
Listen, can I just clarify a few things? Because I don't want it to be seen that I'm a bad loser, which I most definitely am not. I'm a rare loser, I think it's fair to say. But I have no issue with Phil winning. I think Phil is a worthy competitor. It's why I wanted him to come in and to test me. My issue is with Gilroy and more importantly with you, because this quiz and its running comes down to you standing up to Ger Gilroy. I was tempted to send a letter to the HR department for live bullying. It's all there on YouTube. If you want me to do it, I'll do it. But at some stage, you're going to have to stand up to Ger and run this quiz the way it's meant to be run.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like maybe one day I'll be able to grow into those shoes. I guess this is just a learning experience for all of us, Nathan. Maybe I will eventually find my voice. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I'll tell you how bad it was. They wouldn't even put it on the radio last Friday night home because it lacked legitimacy.
Is actually why they didn't go on the radio. I was
No,
there.
Nathan was
Exactly.
presented.
That is exactly it.
I was there.
Nathan was presented. Let's move on, lads.
I was
Come
there
on, it's all
beside the
about
radio all
narrative,
night,
we know that.
waiting for my voice to come on the radio, and it just never came, Nathan. And
Well, you didn't have a voice during the quiz, and that was the problem.
Yes, I guess you might be onto something there. Speaking of which, our last contestant today is possibly the greatest crappy quiz contestant the crappy quiz has ever seen. Such a statement, I'm sure, will be met by consensus with everyone here on the quiz today, and definitely is not something that will quietly make one of his competitors seethe for the next 15 minutes. You can give it up for Phil the Power Egan.
Thanks. I feel like those comments are kind of like what you'd see after United blitz a team 5-0 and then Solskjaer's the man, and then the next week you revert to the norm. So the pressure is on.
Yeah, the norm for you is winning at the moment, the champ, etc., etc., etc. As ever, the format is the classic crappy quiz with a series of questions on different themes. Then it's on to the slip and slide of trivia, which is the rapid fire round. You can podcast the crappy quiz on otbsports.com or on the OTB Sports app. And if you fancy watching on YouTube as well, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment on YouTube as well, because clearly Nathan goes through it and that's how he spends his weekends, looking for some sort of validation and reason to keep going with this stuff. Round one is the boring questions round, and it is never a multiple choice. Tommy, while Serbia and Luxembourg are Ireland's main focus in this international window, you could be forgiven for not being able to contain your excitement surrounding the Qatar game. As you know, Xavi's Al Sadd dominated last season's domestic league in Qatar. But can you name the Spaniard who was the star on the pitch for the champions, bagging 11 goals and 8 assists?
This is a bit of an odd one. A bit of a tough question to start off on. Roberto Soldado.
No, it's not Soldado. Does anybody know?
So I was going to go for
That is
a weird question.
With early.
What have I done?
I obviously thought this was a much easier question. Am I the only person who's been following the career of Santi Cazorla?
What?
Clearly I
Are
am.
you
This
serious?
season or last season?
Last season.
Well, you said this season.
Was Santi Cazorla not playing in Spain last season?
The 2020-2021 season.
Is-
What's up?
Which is over.
Look at the confused look at his face.
We-
Just look at his face.
Okay, it's face.
What's the issue?
What a strange
Don't
question.
understand what the question is, but it's fine. Here, if you got it wrong, move on.
The Qatar season is over. It finished in February. And so that's last season. Santi Cazorla was playing for Al Sadd last season. And
How? Okay. Well, look, I'm not going to contest it. I'm just looking forward to seeing how obscure the lads' questions are.
I thought this was a far easier question than it was, I will say. Clearly, it's just me. Question one for you, Nathan. In what qualification campaign did the Republic of Ireland last face Luxembourg in international football?
He asked the Irish commentator.
Euro 92?
No, not Euro 92. Anyone?
You're going back. I'd say, what was the question? Was it World Cup qualifying campaign?
No, any qualifying campaign.
There was definitely early 80s vibe off that. I'm going to say like something like 84 qualifiers.
It was Euro 88. Euro 88, Luxembourg finished bottom of Ireland's group. There you go, 0-0 so far. I guess the value of those questions is the same, thankfully. I feel really bad about giving that question to Tommy now. I genuinely feel a level of guilt that I'm not sure if I can.
Why? It's a quiz. There's no emotion involved. You ask the question, you get the answer right. Unless, of course, you are attaching emotion to the questions and giving certain people easier questions.
Question one for you, Phil. A brand new World Cup qualification campaign means a brand new opportunity for football to come home. Of England's current players, who has the most caps?
Silence.
Current players, okay. So this
That's
could be
what you hear.
anyone. This could be anyone in the squad.
Correct.
Anyone who hasn't retired.
Hasn't retired. That's a bit of a...
Harry Kane is too obvious. Would it be Jordan Henderson?
Correct. 58 caps for Jordan Henderson. You could have also said Raheem Sterling, who's
That's what I
also
would
on
go for.
58 caps. They're the two answers.
But Jordan Henderson isn't in the squad.
That's why I said players who haven't retired. When Phil said current squad, I clarified it. So just to make that clear for everybody, there's already just this tension here in the air today, which I think we just need to dispel. I think everybody. It's 1-0 to Phil.
That was such a weird question I got.
Round 2 is you got to just brush up on your Middle Eastern football. It's as simple as that. Round 2 is the Serbia round. Ahead of tomorrow's crunch tie in Belgrade, this round will test your knowledge on the footballing powerhouses of Serbia. Tommy, which Serbian footballer has made the most Premier League appearances?
There's only two obvious ones. Jeez. How long was he there for?
Who are you thinking about?
Well, Jojo, don't hit the buzzer here now. But obviously, Matic or Vidic are the two in my head. He comes from Serbia.
And sing the song there for the crack.
No, it'll get beeped out. Phil, I haven't. I didn't sing it. I was at the United Liverpool game in 2009, and I was in the Liverpool end. Actually, got my tickets into. I was in Old Trafford. But I was in the Liverpool end, and I had to wear my Manchester United jersey under about 3 jumpers, and I had to fake celebrate. Celebrate a goal. Was it a Torres goal? But United won 3-1. But I had to. Yeah, it was a double agent that day. I'm gonna go with. Look, it's a 50-50 for me. I'm gonna go with Vidic.
No,
too obvious, but
it's not Vidic. It wasn't 50-50 either.
Ivanovic, yeah.
No.
It was Ivanovic. Branislav
Yeah.
Ivanovic.
Branislav.
Oh no!
With 273 appearances. Now, in fairness, these next couple of questions are harder for Nathan and Phil. Like what I said a moment ago about being guilty. That was just a moment of panic on my. It was trying to make up.
Nathan's got you. He's got you.
I got myself rattled there. This quiz is completely and utterly fair. Looking at it now, this is a tough question. Nathan, can you give me Serbia's group opponents at the 2018 World Cup?
Australia.
Yeah.
Wrong straight away.
Denmark.
Australia.
They were in a group with Brazil.
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other team. There was.
You're going back one World Cup too far, Nathan. Australia were in their group the previous World Cup they qualified for.
So Switzerland. I'm trying to think because obviously the Switzerland-Serbia game, there was the whole celebrations, wasn't there?
Yeah.
With Shaqiri. Yeah, Brazil.
One more you're missing.
Because Brazil drew with Switzerland.
The answer is Costa Rica.
Ah, yeah.
Great bunch of lads.
Great bunch of lads. Phil, can you name the last Serbian footballer to play in a Champions League final and win it?
Okay, our buddy Ivanovic didn't play as Jeff Shrees told him he wouldn't be playing. I'm gonna go with Dejan Stankovic for Inter Milan.
Correct. 2-2.
Did Kovacic not play for Madrid in the final?
Yeah, but he is Croatian.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I tell you, Tommy, I
There you go,
that
boys.
mistake walking down the streets of Belgrade.
Thank God I'm not. Yeah.
England's Tommy Rooney. I tell you, they don't like that.
Apologies to all my. Yeah, okay.
Round 3 is the disappointments of past campaigns round. We all know that Ireland are going to saunter through Serbia and Portugal and qualify for Qatar 22. So to keep our feet on the ground, here's a round of questions on some of the more disappointing World Cup qualification campaigns in recent memory. Tommy, who finished top of Ireland's qualification group for the 1998 World Cup? which I'm sure Nathan and Phil will agree is an absolute gimme.
Oh, it definitely is a gimme for the lads. Oh, lads, this is a stinker for me today. 98, Belgium.
No. Not Belgium. What did you say?
Home was the playoff. What am I on?
It was Romania.
98.
Romania.
Jesus.
We drew with them, didn't we? Remember Cascarino scored against them, Lansdowne.
Did we play Belgium in that qualification campaign, no?
No, the playoff.
Oh,
Nathan. The 2006 qualification campaign was a battle royale between France, Switzerland, Israel, and the Republic of Ireland. But can you tell me who scored the most goals in that group? Was it A, Djibril Cissé, B, Yossi Benayoun, or C, Alexander Fry?
so he gets a multiple choice.
Question.
He does.
There weren't a huge amount of goals in that group.
It's a much harder question, though, than who was top of the qualification group.
I was barely even born in 98.
True.
Alex Fry.
Correct. He's off the mark. Alexander Fry, yeah, top scorer in that group that year. Phil, question 3 for you. Who was the first Denmark player to score against Ireland in the infamous hammering in 2017?
This is ridiculous.
Something that happened like 2 years ago.
This is such a weird quiz.
But it's 4 years ago this year.
Well, not. Yeah, in November. So 3.5 years ago.
It came from a corner. Was it Christensen? Anders Christensen?
Is he right, Tommy?
Yes.
No, but it's easier.
He is right.
Yes. Come on, that's such an easy question.
Christensen got the
It's
score.
really, it's known as the Christian Eriksen game, to be honest.
Yeah, but Poulsen and Christensen
Andreas
scored the other
Christensen
two goals.
scored
Just
one
gotta
goal
know
ever for Denmark.
No, it's
name the other goal scorer then, Tom.
God, the misery of naming
Eriksen hat-trick.
really
Yeah.
would.
Christensen.
Yeah.
And the fifth goal,
Bentner.
Nicholas Bentner. Yeah.
Yeah, but Tommy wouldn't have got that. You got it. It was a penalty.
I said Bentner. there. You just said it.
Yeah, after Tommy said.
We'll move quickly on to round 4. The misery of Nathan here is actually getting a little bit contagious, and it is bringing down the whole tone of this quiz. But I hope you're still with us. We move on to round 4, which is the fun free magic number round. Contestants
All fun free on.
get 3 points for getting the number exactly right. If no one manages that, the nearest contestant who doesn't go bust gets 2 points, and the second closest gets 1 point. I'm going to say that we can only accept the answer that's written on your paper. I'm also going to have to ask for your pens once the music ends. So if you don't mind, give us the following number. The number of players who have scored more than 1 career goal for the Republic of Ireland at a World Cup finals, plus the number of times Luxembourg have qualified for a major international tournament, plus the number of goals Ireland have scored under Stephen Kenny so far, plus the number of appearances Caoimhín Kelleher has made for Liverpool this season. Your 30 seconds expire when Sinatra sings Bright Shiny Beads. So we have got the number of players who have scored more than once for Ireland at a World Cup. We've got the number of times Luxembourg have qualified for a major international tournament. That's the World Cup or the Euros. Plus the number of goals Ireland has scored under Stephen Kenny so far. Obviously not including the penalty shootout. Plus the number of appearances Caoimhín Kelleher has made for Liverpool this season. Can we get your pens down, please? Tommy, what have you got?
8.
Phil?
7.
Nathan?
7.
The answer is 7.
I think it's 7.
The answer is 7. So Nathan and Phil both get 3 points for their work on this one. So the number of players who have scored more than 1 goal for the Republic of Ireland World Cup finals is just 1. Robbie Keane's the only man to have done it. The number of times Luxembourg have qualified for a major tournament is 0. Ireland have scored 1 goal under Stephen Kenny so far. And Tommy, the Manchester United fan, isn't maybe as clued in as Premier League commentator Nathan Murphy and Premier League expert Phil Egan on the fortunes of Liverpool this season. Caoimhín Kelleher has made 5 appearances for them. 2 in Europe, 2 in the league, 1 in the FA Cup, which brings your total to 7. Nathan, that brings your total to 4 points. Phil, you are on 6 points. Tommy, you are trailing behind on nothing. But still time, Tommy. Still time.
Did Phil get all 3 questions right, yeah?
He's got every question correct so far.
Wow. Fair play, Phil.
Thanks,
God.
Tommy. Thanks a lot.
Our winner tonight will be decided in the round that separates the men from the boys, the Stephen Kennys from the Kenny Rogers. It's no team in particular, ridiculously easy rapid fire round. The score you get in this round will be added to your score in the previous round, and there will be 40 seconds for everyone to answer from the same set of questions. We're going to start with the person with the highest number of points, that's Phil, then onto the person in second, that's Nathan, and then onto the person in last. If you get a question correct, I keep asking you questions until you get one wrong, and once you get one wrong, move on to the next person, and you get deducted 1 point. Phil Egan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Your 40 seconds starts now. True or false? Lionel Messi is the top all-time scorer in the Champions League.
False.
Correct. What club does James Collins play for?
Luton.
What country does Hakim Ziyech play for?
Morocco.
Correct. What was Stephen Kenny's first senior job in management?
Longford.
Correct. Name the current Longford Town boss.
Pass.
Darragh Doyle. Name either of the players who missed penalties for Ireland against Slovakia last season. Correct. Who is hosting the 2026 World Cup?
USA, Mexico, Canada.
Correct. In what city did the 1976 European Championships final take place?
Time.
No, Belgrade. Name the Serbia manager, Tommy.
Stojkovic.
Correct. What team did Ireland last score a goal against in normal time? Bulgaria.
Back down to 0.
Bulgaria. Phil Egan, by the skin of your teeth you held on there. You got screwed over by 1976, Nathan. Phil, I mean, what can we say anymore about Phil Egan? This is how many in a row?
I don't remember.
1976, that was Puskas, wasn't it?
I think so.
Not the Panenka, sorry, the Panenka, not the Puskas. With the Panenka, wasn't it?
I have no idea, to be quite honest with you.
I think I'll stick with Owen. I think I'll stick with the Europa League. I'll be honest. When you asked me to do the quiz this week instead of the football one, I thought, there'll be 10, 15 people in it. I'll just hide in the background. I didn't realise it was up against these two powerhouses. So I'll slip off here into the background.
Oh, there's a malaise in the camp of Nathan Murphy at the moment. You can hear us. So you just need to get out of your.
I know. I'm frustrated again at the level of questions given to fabulous Phil Egan and the straightforward nature of the rapid fire ones. But listen, he was a deserving winner. He was a deserving winner. So well done to Phil. I look forward to taking him on next time.
Phil, final word to you.
I'm just glad I'm not a bad champion. Because
you are a killing machine, Phil Egan.
Yeah, but all good things.
Show me a bad champion. I'll show you. Have you ever got a question on this, Phil, that hasn't been a football question?
I know.
Oh, plenty.
It's the narrative. It's all about the narrative.
You know, this quiz is a football quiz. This one.
Oh, this one I know, but I've never heard you not get a football question.
He gets boxing questions sometimes as well.
Okay.
Certainly does. This was a football quiz. It was a special one with Paddy Power. The good news is that we're going to be back with the regular crappy quiz this Friday, where Nathan will once again try and maybe fail to take his crown back after champ.
Put me back.
Who's the third? Who's taking on myself and Phil?
Put me in, coach.
Check that on.
Oh no.
See you next time.